conversations with John about the new accountability system that you all just approved. This excites me. This really excites folks who want to be held accountable, but let us be held accountable for the work that we have pledged to you in our charter that we're going to do. Emily, both of you, you always answer our calls. You are there with a quick text message. Susan, Wendy, navigating the world of special ed. Tracy and all the fine folks in the federal programs, the ladies in finance, Kristen. I'm reminded, and I'm walking away from this board meeting today, Dexter, knowing that the best decision that you and our chairman made almost 6 years ago, next month will be year 6 for me in the Liberty adventure. And when we first started talking about this vision for something different in Sumter, it was on a napkin. And I'll never forget the first time I heard your name. You know, here I am on fire to want to change public education in my community. I've known teaching all my life and couldn't tell you anything about the NFL. Couldn't tell you anything about sports. But when our chairman said, this is who we need to be on this planning committee, wrote your name down, did my homework, and I thought, well, I'm going to have my work cut out for me, right? And Dexter, you and I have been through a lot over the last 5 years. You are there in the most challenging times for me as a school leader, as a person of faith, a person that is trying to do your vision, to execute your vision and our board's vision. And there's never been a time where I have not shared something with you and you knew either you knew you needed to do something for me, or you made something happen to show that you in it, brother, with me. I'll never forget the moment that we had our own little crisis at Liberty. And children are bringing tough social emotional learning challenges to us, significant. And when I had nobody else to call, I called you and your wife, who is now our newest board member in an appointed seat. You both came and you helped me to de-escalate the situation. And as you have asked on several occasions, how's he doing? You know the student I'm talking about. You didn't give up on him. You didn't give up on me. And that's the kind of trustee that you all are getting. This man is incredibly connected. He is incredibly student-focused. But the most important thing that you got to know about Dexter Davis is he's a cheerleader for the underdog. And in listening to the conversations this morning from this board, you got somebody that's in the fight that is going to do excellent work on behalf of all of the schools in this charter district. Dexter, I'm going to personally miss you. This happened very quickly. I had literally 48 hours to wrap my head around it. And I'm slowly starting to see that our original 13 going down to now just the original 4, as we affectionately refer to them at Liberty. But even though you are starting a new chapter in your educational advocacy journey, you'll never forget Liberty. You're still going to be there with us. But I am eternally grateful for the personal leadership that you have given to me. And to know that the footprint that you have left in the Sumter community is indelible. This man moved from Atlanta, in a place that many of us in here probably enjoy taking a day trip to go shopping to. Moved back to his hometown in Sumter to launch Liberty. When I found that out, I knew that this was a fighter that was going to help us make what we talk about at Liberty the impossible possible. Dexter is all about being a proof point, and that is in our mission. We are here to be a proof point at Liberty STEAM Charter School in Sumter, focusing on changing the narrative for what so many people still think can't be done. when we simply provide potential meeting opportunity with a focus at Liberty under this man's leadership of not just saying we're going to serve historically underserved populations, but this man's going to get out and is going to walk the neighborhoods and knock on the doors with us to show us how to do it. And I'll never forget that moment that you, Pastor Newton, you took Cammie Chandler to Harmony Court. You took Cammie Chandler to Friendship Apartments. You took Cammie Chandler to Miller Arms. And we are proud to have those students as scholars at Liberty STEAM Charter School because we want to be that proof point. And it's the goal that Dexter set forth in our charter application to simply uplift communities across all of Sumter through better educational opportunities for them. We're going to miss you. We're going to follow you in this new journey. And I've removed you from our group chat. You know, some of them asked, tell us what you need to know about Dexter. When he's got an idea, he's on to something. He's on to something. Mentioned something about this thing called Changemaker. Didn't know anything about it. Oh, here's a new project Dexter has given to me. Has now brought in nearly $12,000 that we're using to pay for buses and to provide some of these educational opportunities. And so you're getting the champion for the underdog. I'm excited for you, and the state of South Carolina has a lot to be thankful for that you have returned home. Yes. So on behalf of our board of directors and our faculty and staff, and we want to present you with just this small token of our appreciation, a plaque that commemorates your service not only as a member of the original Charter Planning Committee from 2019, but your service as a member of the founding board of directors.
Our board chair had recommended that maybe it'd be kind of cool that if I went and got a Clemson jersey and unveiled that, and I said I'm not worthy to be able to wear the number 48. But Dexter, you do have a new jersey now, and that's as a part of this family, and Liberty is a part of that family, and these schools represented today. So, a welcome home. I do want to congratulate High Point Academy and Low Country Montessori on your approval of your renewals. We recognize that just like our families have school choice, you have authorizer choice. And the fact that you're here with us today and you wanted to stick with us and be a part of this special family, we're very appreciative. We don't take that for granted, so thank you. I just want to concur with the members of the Board of Trustees for the AFO approval and the work that went behind that. John Payne and his team, all the members of the district team, Eric, the members of our core team from our schools. That was a whole district effort that everybody put into that. I meant what I said. I do believe that it is now a standard that could be a model in the country, but in school districts in South Carolina. We were created in statute in 2006 to demonstrate the power of autonomy and innovation. And then the idea was that our traditional friends would replicate those innovations and autonomous actions that work. And so, Mr. Gilchrist, I take what you said seriously, and we are going to let our chairmen of the education committees in the House and Senate both know about this and even offer to go and testify at the State House on the AFO so that this could be a light for how accountability can be done in partnership with our schools. It's not punitive. It's all about supports and about all of us being our best as a team. Dexter, when you broke up into offense and defense and special teams, you had coaches for each of those different groups. And then, you had the head coach that brings them all together. Well, I mean, that's what this is all about is, our schools have got their coaches and they've got their ADs and they're doing their thing. But at the end of the day, if we're going to win together and focus on the goal in the Charter Act of closing the achievement gap, then we've got to figure out how do we do that in this autonomous public school environment that we operate in. I think the AFO is an example of how we can do that so that we're aligned for all kids. Just a few things I want to highlight. I'll direct your attention to the TV screens. We continue to do school visits every week. We've been at Green Spartanburg, Greenville Tech, Charter High School, the Meyer Center. You can see on the top left there, Green Spartanburg visit from a few weeks ago. These are all things that happened since the last board meeting. On the top right, we went to the Greenville Tech Charter High School up in Greenville. Dr. Rhonda Gregory, who's in that picture, she is replacing Mary Nell Anthony as the school leader there at Greenville Tech Charter High School. We're very excited. Rhonda's been there. She's been a great partner, and they're going to be able to, continue doing the great things they do. The bottom left, we had a great meeting over in Spartanburg Community College with Dr. Makota. Senator Peeler had asked that we talk with them about the workforce centers of excellence and educate these technical college presidents on what we're talking about here. And so we had a great meeting with him. And then I did a return back to the Meyer Center up in Greenville. And, every picture there is worth a million words. The children there, I love those kids. And it felt good to be back home for me, back in Greenville, back at the Meyer Center. Next slide. We were just at Liberty yesterday. Liberty is the first public charter school in South Carolina to become a Purple Star school. It's a designation by the Military Child Education Coalition in collaboration with the South Carolina Department of Education and the South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs. It is declaring their designation that they are intentionally focused on supporting military children. As you know, they are located adjacent to Shaw Air Force Base over in Sumter. And, the fact that they are the first in the state, I was not surprised by that. We promoted this to all our schools back at the School Leader Summit in November. I would also challenge our two schools here today that we would love to work with you to become a Purple Star school because I think it's important for South Carolina as a military state with all these military bases in our state, but also that border our state in Augusta, that we say to our military families around the world, when you move and relocate to South Carolina, you have a quality public charter school that your children can attend. And in addition to that, we're going to provide supports for their health and well-being. We care about that whole child. And so this is a great designation, but it's just the beginning. I want all 39 schools in our portfolio to receive that designation. So kudos to the board at Liberty and to Dr. Ivey and their staff and their families. Top right, SCDU, so the South Carolina Department of Employee Workforce. We had a great meeting the other day with Dr. Floyd, talking all about workforce centers of excellence. They want to partner with us. I got a nice email from him last night wanting to get another meeting with them and Mr. Lightsey, who's the Secretary of the South Carolina Department of Commerce. Looks like our Microsoft server has stopped. Maybe, yeah. So I'll go to the bottom left while Josh figures that out. We hosted the Urban League of the Upstate here last week. We had an amazing meeting with them. So the Urban League is real focused on workforce centers of excellence. They saw what we were doing and they said, how can we partner? Because they want to get more children of color into particular career fields, one of those being the film industry in America. So they have pitched the idea to us, what if we come in with you and folks from New York and Hollywood and create a film production school in the upstate to help supply a workforce for the film industry in South Carolina? Because we've got more and more movies that want to be filmed here, but they don't have the production staff. And that's every job imaginable, from the catering business to the IT businesses, PR, marketing, those that know how to do AI and film production. But it's every job in the film industry. They want to start producing those workers here in South Carolina and not bring them in from LA and New York and these other states. So they're talking about creating a film production school that would teach kids all these different jobs. It would be tied into apprenticeships, tied into the film industry in South Carolina. And of course, our governor and our state are investing money in the film industry because we believe that more movies should be filmed here versus out in Hollywood in those fake studios. So why not provide the workers that can be part of that? The center picture, we've developed a strong relationship with scouting here in South Carolina and giving more kids more opportunities to get outside and explore nature and be a part of the outdoors. So we went to their conference a couple weeks ago. And then just yesterday, we were up in Rock Hill for Riverwalk's ribbon cutting. They're going to open up a new middle school and high school. And so very exciting to be with them and to be a part of that celebration. They've got a wait list of several hundred folks. They want to get those families into their school, and the only way they can do that is to grow and expand. Next slide. And then if you didn't watch it, I do invite you to watch the recording of the hearing we had last week with the South Carolina House Ways and Means Committee. We don't take it lightly that we're the only school district in South Carolina that has an opportunity to testify and advocate for school choice, educational freedom, and charter schools. And with me was Katrina Simmons. And you've heard me talk about Katrina before, but she's one of our adult students at our adult charter high school at Trident Tech down in North Charleston at the Palmetto Excel Center, our first workforce center of excellence. She gave a powerful testimony to her life and the redemptive nature behind the workforce centers of excellence. She also joined me the day before on our Kids First podcast and also on the radio with Kevin Cohen on 100.7 The Point. But she just gave a very powerful testimony. The entire committee was fully supportive of our ask. They were appreciative of her story and the power that these workforce centers of excellence can provide in terms of opening up opportunities, not just for our traditionally aged high school students, but also our adult students. Because as you know, we have over 500,000 South Carolinians that do not have a high school diploma. And the data shows that for every one of those, if they get a diploma after they leave the traditional system, their income power, multiplies by 10,000 a year or more. So we're very excited about that. And I'm also proud to say that the House Ways and Means Proviso Committee adopted our proviso amount of $5.9 million so that we could expand these schools. Again, that's something this district's doing that no other district in this state is doing. And we're intentionally aligned with the governor and the General Assembly when it comes to workforce. Next slide. So you heard our chair talk about the op-ed piece, and as Dr. Pope said, this ran in other papers, including down there in Aiken. I've known Cindy Scoppy a long time, who's one of the editors at the paper. Cindy's right. It is not easy to get an op-ed in a paper in South Carolina. We worked for 4 months on this one piece so we could get the messaging right, so it fully represented our schools and what this mission is all about. This has been used now in communications with legislators and other stakeholders so that we can continue to advocate for the expansion of these programs. Next slide. There's another video. So before we play it, Josh, so we've created a public service announcement about the Workforce Centers of Excellence. And we just finished work on this last week. It was a collaborative effort on the staff. We wrote the script, and then we worked with some local folks to produce it. This is what is going to start airing on social media and around the state and in different meetings and forums beginning next week in Myrtle Beach, where we've been invited by the South Carolina Technical College System to present before the entire state system on Workforce Centers of Excellence. Josh?
In the heart of South Carolina, we're rewriting the story of education and workforce development with the Workforce Centers of Excellence, sponsored by the South Carolina Public Charter School District. Introducing the Workforce Centers of Excellence, where innovation meets education. Meet John, a college graduate with a degree in liberal arts. He's hoping his degree will open doors.
Do you have any work experience, internships, or practical skills, John?
I do have my degree, but I need this job. I have thousands of dollars in college debt to pay off.
Now meet Sarah, who chose a different path. She attended a Workforce Center of Excellence, earning credentials, a high school degree, and spending 2 years in an apprenticeship program at an EV automotive plant.
Sarah, I must say I'm incredibly impressed by your resume of experience. In today's world, it's not just about degrees, it's about skills and experience. You have the practical skills and certifications we need. When can you start?
In today's world, it's not just about degrees. It's about skills and experience. At the Workforce Centers of Excellence, we're redefining education, shaping tomorrow's workforce. Our students earn degrees, industry certifications, and apprenticeships in fields like EV automotive, making them job ready upon graduation. Join us in transforming education and workforce development with the Workforce Centers of Excellence, sponsored by the South Carolina Public Charter School District. Visit scharter.org to learn more. Be part of the innovation. Be part of the future.
So what do you think?
You should have been in it. That's the only thing.
No, it's not about me. It's about the program.
No, it's great.
I want to share a story, though, about how we came up with the idea. And some of you might remember this because some of you are older than others. But in 1973, I was around in 1973. I was born in 68. But in 1973, there was an ad campaign put out by the federal government. And the whole push in 1973 and on was all about college. So there was an ad, a PSA that was put out, and I learned about this by reading an article put out by Midlands Technical College, and it referenced this ad. So I went on YouTube, I looked up the ad, and sure enough, like everything else on YouTube, that ad from 1973 was there. And here's what the PSA was. It was Abraham Lincoln applying for a job, and he was sitting down interviewing just like that. And the man that was interviewing, he was asking all these questions about, well, what kind of a leadership experience you had, and this and that and that. And Abraham Lincoln said, well, I've done this, and I've been president, and he wasn't qualified because the employer said, well, but you don't have a lambskin. You don't have a diploma, a degree. Abraham Lincoln was self-taught. The whole point in that ad, of course, was you can't get a good job and live the American dream unless you've been to college. So we took that PSA, reversed it to make it more relevant to what we're seeing today in the workforce. And the fact is, it's not all about college. It's given every student in our district and in our state an opportunity to reach their full potential through work, military, or college. You could do all three. I have. The point being is that we wanted to reverse the conversation, and that's what we're doing with the Workforce Centers of Excellence. The amount of college debt that young people are accruing, and they're coming out of college with a bachelor's degree in sociology, and this is a true story, having to wait tables because they can't find a job. Meanwhile, we've got students that are getting an associate's degree in high school, a diploma, certifications, and they're going into the workforce making $80,000. We're short 300,000 workers in our state right now, all across South Carolina. And it's only going to continue to grow because we have, and Stephen, you know this, because we have more and more companies coming here. And then you got the multiplier effect of all the suppliers and everybody else that's here for those businesses. But we don't have the workers. And look, we can't change the whole dynamic, but we sure can play an important role. And so that's what we're going to do with the Workforce Centers of Excellence. That's why we're so pleased with the support we've received so far through the General Assembly and the backing of this board. And so I just want to thank you, everyone here, for what we're doing. This is going to change education in South Carolina. This is not VOC. This is not SHOP. This is not even CTE. It's beyond that. It's the next generation of what workforce education and training should look like. And we're the ones leading the way. This time I'll take any questions or comments from members of the board.
Madam Chair, Mr. Superintendent, I just want to comment on that and just thank you for continuing to remind us of how important this work is on the Workforce Centers for Excellence. In the essence of full disclosure, I'm the chairman of the South Carolina African American Chamber. And in our legislative agenda this year, we actually included the Workforce Centers as part of our agenda to help support that work going forward. So we're excited about it because we recognize, too, that it's important to make sure we have a viable workforce for business. And the reality of that is we don't right now. And so anything we can do to help support that work. So I'm delighted that I happen to be on the South Carolina Public Charter School Board that's actually leading the way in that. And so I'm hoping that I can help share that story in my other realm as the chairman of the African American Chamber to encourage lawmakers to really take this on as a major priority for our state. So thank you for the leadership on that.
Well, thank you for your support and your leadership on this issue of workforce.
Anybody else? Well, I'll say, Chris, that I think you've taken a paradigm of the charter school paradigm, and you all have 3D'd it. You've given it total vertical dimensionality. You've given it horizontal dimensionality in the outstretch across the state. But now that growth is vertical, where you're reaching up for those other big pieces of that sky, and connecting them to. We have a source for you up there, and it's right down here in these schools. And for those children and their parents to see that this is not only about school, this is about the future. This is about a place called Boeing. This is about a place called all of these things. And what's something is this entity, the South Carolina Public Charter School District and its members, have claimed this, that they proactively gone out and created with vision opportunities that no one had really thought about. And I think, too, what is so precious is that at the bottom of this paradigm is heart. That's what they're doing out there. They're exercising their gifts for the purpose of hearts. And that is what is so precious, if not spiritual, about what we're about. And it is a precious thing, and it's going to just go strong because human nature out there, parents and children are waiting for it. So, huge congratulations.
Thank you. We appreciate your support.
Is that where you finished? We're adjourned. This is the part I don't know when to quit. Okay. I have a motion to adjourn. Did somebody just make? Thank you. We're adjourned.
All right, right there. Good job.
Yeah, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to have some more notes.